Today we are going to discuss about IC8259 programmable interrupt controller called as PIC PIC. The interrupts are used in a system to handle programs or subroutines such as reading characters from a keyboard, detecting and performing an emergency operations such as sounding a fire alarm. For this purpose, the processor uses either maskable or non-maskable interrupts. But the processor has only limited hardware interrupts called as INTR and NMI. For applications that use interrupts from multiple sources, the processor can use external device called programmable interrupt controller or priority interrupt controller. The Intel introduced IC called IC8259 is designed and developed for use with Intel 8085 microprocessor and 8086 microprocessor. The main features of IC8259 are given below. The IC support 8 interrupts from different peripherals and issue a single interrupt signal to the microprocessor. And it supports cascading of 8 ICs and allow maximum interrupts are 64 from different peripherals. It can set the priority for the interrupts, mask the interrupt sources, and provide different interrupt vector addresses. So a single IC can allow 8 interrupts from 8 different peripherals. If the IC is connected and cascaded by using 8 different ICs are connected with one IC, which can allow 64 interrupt sources. Now let us see the internal block diagram of IC8259. This block diagram consists of various blocks called interrupt request register IRR, interrupt service register ISR, interrupt mask register IMR, priority resolver, control logic, data bus buffer, read write logic, cascade buffer comparator. Now the register IRR can allow the 8 interrupt requests from different sources. So the 8 interrupt requests are represented as IR0 to IR7. From these 8 interrupts, IR0 has the highest priority and IR7 has the lowest priority in fixed priority mode. In rotating priority, the priority order may change. So the IRR is a 8-bit register which can store the interrupt request information. If any one line, if any peripheral can request the service through any one of the line, that corresponding information can be stored in IRR register. If the bit in the IRR register is set to 1, that indicates that the device can request the service through that IR request. The ISR register called interrupt service register. This register is 8-bit register which can provide the information about the interrupts which are being served. And IMR is the interrupt mask register. It is an 8-bit register which contains information about the interrupts which are masked. And the priority resolver resolves the priority among 8 interrupts. In fixed priority mode, the priority resolver assigns highest priority to the IR0 and IR7 is the lowest priority. If priority may be programmed as rotating priority mode, the priority order may alter. So the IMR can store the information about the interrupts which are masked based on priority resolver. Now the control logic unit generate an interrupt signal according to the priority of the interrupt to the microprocessor by using INT line. and receive the acknowledged signal from the processor through INTA bar signal. The data bus buffer is a tri-state buffer which can carry the data, that is interrupt type number or status or control word, to the IC8259. The data bus is the bidirectional data bus D0 to D7. These data lines are connected to microprocessor 8 data lines. The read-write logic, this logic can be driven by the microprocessor by sending a read signal, write signal, A0 and CS bar. The read-write logic can perform either read operation or write operation. That is, the processor read status of the control word register or write status of the control word register or read interrupt type number corresponding to the interrupt request. And the A0 becomes either 0 or 1, which can provide the two addresses of IC8259. The chip is enabled or disabled by using CS bar. The CS bar signal is generated by using address lines of the microprocessor and decoder. And the cascade buffer comparator, this block used for cascade operation. That is, a single IC can allow 8 interrupt sources. If the IC can be used in cascaded mode, 8 different ICs are connected to single IC, which can allow 64 interrupt sources. So there are 3 IO lines in cascade buffer called CS0, CS1, CS2. These lines can be used as output lines or input lines. If IC can be used as a master device, these cascade lines are considered as output lines. If the IC can be used as a slave device, these 3 lines can be used as input lines. And one signal called as a SP bar and EN bar. Either can be used as a buffer or slave programming. So this is about the internal block diagram of IC8259. Now let us see the different registers operations. That is, interrupt request register. The interrupts at IRQ input lines are handled by the IRR register internally. The IRR register stores all the interrupt requests in it in order to serve them one by one on the priority basis. In service register called ISR, this register stores all the interrupt requests those are being served. That is, the ISR stores a track of the request being served. The priority resolver unit determines the priorities of the interrupt request appearing simultaneously. IR0 has the highest priority and IR7 has the lowest priority in fixed priority mode. The interrupt mask register IMR stores the bits required to mask the interrupt inputs, and IMR operates on IRR at the direction of priority resolver. The interrupt control logic unit manages the interrupt and interrupt acknowledge signals to be sent to the microprocessor for serving one of the 8 interrupt requests. The data bus buffer is a tri-state bidirectional buffer and can be interfaces internal IC8259 data bus to the 8086 system data bus. The control word, status word or vector information pass through this data bus buffer during read or write operation. The read-write control logic circuit accept and decode the commands from the microprocessor, and this block also allows the status of the IC8259 to be transferred on the data bus. The cascade buffer or comparator unit stores and compares the identification of the all IC8259s used in the cascaded system. There are 3 IO pins are used as output pins when the IC8259 is used as a master device which is connected directly to the microprocessor, and the same pins are used as input pins when the IC8259 is connected as a slave device which are connected to master IC8259. Now let us see the pin diagram of IC8259. This IC is a 28 pin IC. Among 28 pins, 8 pins reserved for 8 interrupt sources IR0 to IR7, and 8 data lines are reserved for 8 bits. 8 pins are reserved for 8 data lines D0 to D7, and 3 cascaded lines CS0, CS1, CS2, and 2 control signals WR bar and RD bar, 2 interrupt signals INT signal and INTA bar signal, 2 power supplies VCC and ground, 1 address line A0, and SP bar and EN bar signal. Now let us see the control words of IC8259. There are 2 types of control words are used in programming of 8259. Those are called installation command word and operational command word. Now let us see the installation of IC8259. This installation of 8259 can be represented by using flowchart. There are 4 installation command words are used in IC8259 for programming. Those are called ICW1, ICW2, ICW3, ICW4. Among 4 ICWs, the 2 ICWs must be used for programming and 2 ICWs are optional. Those are ICW3 and ICW4. First, ICW1 indicates that installation command word 1, and ICW2, after that you want to go for cascade mode. That depends upon the ICW1 format. In that ICW1 format, one bit belongs to cascade mode of operation. That is called single mode or cascade mode, SNGL. If SNGL equals 0, next go to ICW3. If SNW equal to 1, skip the ICW3. So you can skip the ICW3, depends upon the SNGL, that is single mode. Next go to ICW4 is needed or not, that depends upon the ICW4. ICW4 is needed or not. If it is 0, no need of ICW4. If it is 1, need ICW4. After that, the IC8259 can accept the interrupt request after initializing ICW 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let us see the format of installation command word 1. This command word format is 8-bit format. It consists of 8 bits D0 to D7. The D0 bit belongs to ICW4, whether it is needed or not. If D0 bit equal to 1, ICW4 is required. If it is 0, no ICW4 is required. So whether the ICW4 is needed or not depends upon the D0 bit in ICW1. Next, D1. D1 means single mode. Single mode means the 8259 used as a single IC used in the interfacing or cascade operation. If D1 equal to 1, single 8259 is used in the system. So that can, if D1 equal 0, cascaded mode. Cascaded mode of operation belongs to ICW3. So ICW3 and ICW4 depends upon the D0 and D1. D0 belongs to whether ICW4 is needed or not. D1 belongs to whether the IC can be used in cascaded mode or not. If it is cascaded mode, ICW3 is required. Next, D2 bit belongs to ADI. ADI means address interval. If it is D2 equal to 1, a 4-bit address is required. D2 equal to 0, 8-bit address is required. That is, the starting address of the ISR may be either 4 bits or 8 bits. In case of 8086 processor, the ISR address, ISR means interrupt service routine. The ISR address may be 4 bytes. For 8085 processor, the ISR address is 8 bytes. So depends upon the interfacing of 8259 with 8085 or 8086 processor, the ADI bit becomes 1 or 0. If 86 is interfaced with 8259, ADI equal to 1. If it is interfaced with 8085 processor, ADI equal to 0. because the highest address is either 4 bytes or 8 bytes, depends upon the processor. And D3 bit indicates that level triggered interrupt mode. If the interrupt may be applied either edge triggered interrupt or level triggered interrupt. If type of interrupt applied to that IC, the D3 bit may be either 1 or 0. So depends upon the D3 bit, we can apply a triggered input, either level triggered or edge triggered. If D3 equal to 1, level triggered input is applied. D3 equal to 0, edge triggered interrupt input is applied. As we know that INTR is a level triggered interrupt and NMI is the edge triggered interrupt. And D4 bit always 1. And D5, D6, D7, these 3 bits belongs to 3 address lines of microprocessor A5, A6, A7. These address lines carries the interrupt vector address for 8085 microprocessor only. So these 3 lines are carries the address for 8085 processor. If it is 86 is used, these 3 bits considered as a don't care bits. That is D5, D6, D7 are don't cares for 8086 microprocessor interfacing. For 85, these lines becomes A7, A5, A6. Now let us go to the second one. Format of installation command word 2. This command word 2 consists of 8 data lines, 8 bits D0 to D7 and extra bit A0. In case of ICW1, A0 is always 0. If ICW2, A0 is always 1. So extra bit A0 equal to 1. From D0 to D7, D1, D2, D3 belongs to address lines of microprocessor A8, A9, A10. And D3 to D7 may be either address lines are T7, T6, T5, T4, T3. So these T7 to T3 lines are belongs to 8085 system. In case of 86 processor is used, these lines belongs to address lines A15 to A11. These lines carries the interrupt vector address and least significant 3 bits are same as respective bits of the vector address. As we know that the vector address is a 8-bit address because 8086 consists of 256 interrupts. Those 256 interrupts are represented by using 8-bit address. For 8086 system, they are filled by most significant 5 bits of interrupt vector type and least significant 3 bits are zeros, which pointing to the interrupt request 0. Now let us see the installation command word 3. Whether this word is required or not depends upon the D1 bit of ICW1. In ICW1, D1 belongs to either single mode or cascade mode. If it is 1, single mode, 0, cascade mode. If it is 0, use ICW3 format. Here D0 to D7 bits can be used as either master mode operation or slave mode operation. If IC is used as a master device, these 3 bits, these 8 bits D0 to D7 indicates that slave devices information. That is, in cascaded mode, 8 ICs 8259 are connected to a single 8259. So 8 ICs are connected to a single 8259 which can allow 64 interrupt requests. So which IC requests the service among 8 slave devices, those information can be specified in ICW3 for master device. So master device can accept the request from each slave device. That information specified in 8 bits D0 to D7 belongs to S0 to S7. Each slave device is connected to any one of the request line of master device request line. In case of IC used as a slave device, the same 8 bits used for slave mode of operation D1, D0, D2 belongs to ID0, ID1, ID2. That indicates that identification of the slave device. Remaining 5 bits belongs to zeros. D7 to D3 bits are 5 zeros. Next, go to the format of installation command word 4. This command word 8-bit format, it is needed or not, that depends upon the format of ICW1. In that D0 bit indicates that whether ICW4 is needed or not. If it is needed, the 8 bits represent different operations. D0 belongs to either mode of processor, either 8085 or 8086. If it is D0 equals 0, 8085 processor is connected, 1 8086 processor is connected. If D1 belongs to automatic end of interrupt, if it is 1, auto end of interrupt is performed. If it is 0, normal end of interrupt operation is performed. D2 means either the 8259 used as either master or slave. If D2 equal to 1, the master device, 0, slave device. D3 belongs to buffer. If it is D3 equal to 0, non-buffered device. If it is 1, buffered device. And D4, SFNM, called special fully nested mode. If it is 1, the IC is operated in special fully nested mode. 0, not special fully nested mode. And 3 bits D5, D6, D7 becomes zeros in ICW4 format. So these are the 4 installation command words. The first command ICW1 and ICW2 must be required for IC8259, and ICW3 and ICW4 may be optional. That depends upon the ICW1 format. Now let us see the operational command words. Those are OCW1, OCW2 and OCW3. Now let us see the first one, operational command word 1. It is 8-bit format, D0 to D7. These 8 bits represent 8 masked bits. 8 masked bits, M0 to M7. If any one interrupt is masked by using priority resolver, the corresponding masked bit becomes 1 in the OCW1 format. That is, if IR0 is masked, that information must be stored in OCW1 that belongs to D0. So D0 equal to 1, which indicates that IR0 is masked. If it is unmasked, that becomes 0. Next, let us see the format of operational command word 2. This command word 2 consists of 8 bits, D0 to D7. D0, D1, D2. These 3 bits belongs to L1, L2, L3. That is interrupt request level to be acted upon. These three bits represent 8 interrupts, 000 to 0007. So that is 000 to 111. So each combination represent 1 interrupt request. That is the level to be acted. So either edge trigger level is applied or edge triggered or level triggered input is applied to the interrupt. That depends upon the L1, L2, L3. And bit D3, D4 becomes 00, and D5, D6, D7. These 3 bits perform different operations. D5 belongs to EOI operation, that is end of interrupt operation. D6 means specific operation. D7 becomes to rotation operation. By combining these 3 bits, we get different operations. If these 3 bits becomes 001, that is RSLEOI becomes 001, which can perform non-specific EOI operation. That is reset all bits of the in-service register. If 001, the ISR register is reset. If 011, the 3 bits becomes 011, which can perform specific EOI command. That is clear the bits encoded by L3, L2, L1 in the ISR, in-service register or interrupt service register. If these 3 bits becomes 101, 100, 000, these 3 combinations called as a auto rotation of priorities. Auto rotation of priorities. If these 3 bits becomes 101, that indicates that rotate priority or non-specific EOI command is generated. If these 3 bits becomes 100, set rotate priorities in auto EOI mode set. These 3 bits becomes 0 0 0 clear operation, that is rotate priority in auto EOI mode. Next, these 3 bits belongs to 1 1 1 that can perform rotate priority on specific EOI command, that is reset the ISR bit. If these 3 bits becomes 1 1 0, set priority does not reset current ISR bit. These 3 bits becomes 0 1 0, no operation. So depends upon the, if is R equal to 0, no rotation. If R equal to 1, rotate operation. If SL equal to 0, it belongs to non-specific. SL equal to 1, specific. If EY equal to 1, you can perform end of operation. If it is 0, not end of, non-EY operation. So by combining these 3 bits, you can perform different operations. Now let us see the third one. Format of operational command word 3 OCW3. It consists of 8 bits D0 to D7. D0 bit belongs to read ISR register on next RD pulse. D1 bit belongs to read IR bit register on next RD pulse. So by combining these 2 bits, the processor can read either ISR register or IRR register on next RD pulse. If these 2 bits becomes 0x, no effect. If these 2 bits D1 D0 becomes 10, the processor read interrupt request register on next read pulse. If these 2 bits becomes 11, the processor read ISR, that is interrupt service register on next read pulse. And bit D2 belongs to P. P indicates that polling. If it is 0, polling, 1, no polling. That is, the interrupts can be selected based on polling. D3 becomes 1, always 1. D4 becomes 0. And D6, D5, these 2 bits performs various operations. D6 indicates that enable special mask mode. D5 represent special mask mode. These 2 bits combined act as 2 operations. 0x represent no effect. 10 perform reset special mask. 11 perform set special mask. D7 bit always 0. So these 3 operation command words are used to perform operation of 8259 in cascader mode or a single mode S259. So there are 7 command words. 4 commands belongs to installation command words ICW1, ICW2, ICW3, ICW4, and 3 operational command words OCW1, OCW2, OCW3. Now let us see the operation of IC8259. In this operation, one or more of the IR lines in the IC8259 may be high. Corresponding bit or bits of IR are set in the 8259. So that is, if any one of the interrupt request is high, the corresponding bit in IRR is set. The IC8259 evaluate the interrupt request based on masking and priority. If the interrupt is the highest priority among other interrupts, then 8259 send out interrupt request to the processor by using control unit or control logic. So after finding highest priority request among other interrupts, the 8259 send INT pulse or INT signal to the microprocessor. When the microprocessor receives the INT signal and send out acknowledge, that is INTA bar, to the in response to the INT signal from the 8259. After receiving INTA bar pulse from the processor, the 8259 can set the bit corresponding to the highest priority interrupt among currently received interrupts in ISR is set, and its corresponding bit in IRR is reset. That is, after receiving INTA bar pulse, the ISR bit the ISR register, the corresponding highest priority interrupt information can be set in the ISR bit. At the same time, IRR bit is reset of the corresponding interrupt. After receiving first INTA bar pulse from the microprocessor, the highest priority ISR bit is set and corresponding bit IRR is reset. And after receiving the second INTA bar pulse from the processor, the IC8259 send desired interrupt type number through 8 data lines of the IC8259. So the processor generate 2 INTA bar pulse signals. During first pulse signal, the 8259 can set ISR bit corresponding highest priority and at the same time reset the IRR bit. After receiving second pulse, the 8259 send type number of the highest priority interrupt. Here type number indicates that 00 to FF, that is 256 interrupts. 256 interrupts are represented with type number 00 to 255. So during receiving second INTA bar pulse, the 8259 send interrupt vector type number through 8 data lines to the processor. Now the processor receives the type number. According to the type number, the processor can execute interrupt service routine called ISR program. So before executing ISR program, the processor performs various operations. Those are called the flags of the main program are pushed onto the stack, and the interrupt flag and trap flag are cleared, and the return address, that is main program address, is pushed onto the stack, and the starting address of the ISR is obtained from the interrupt vector table and loaded into the CS and IP registers. CS means code segment and IP means interrupt pointer registers. Here PC represent CS and IP registers. After loaded into the CS and IP registers, the processor execute ISR program. At the end of ISR program, the 8259 reset the bit corresponding interrupt being executed in ISR of the 8259. So this is about the operation of 8259. Now let us see the interfacing of IC8259 with 8086 microprocessor. So this interfacing of 8059 is similar to the 8255 with microprocessor and 8253 with microprocessor. Here the 8259 IC consists of 8 request lines IR0 to IR7, and 8 data lines are connected to data lines of microprocessor, and INT signal of 8259 is connected to INTR signal of the 8086 microprocessor, and INTA bar of 8259 is connected with INTA bar of microprocessor, and the lower order address and data lines, multiplexed data lines, are separated by using ALE signal, and the data lines are directly connected to data lines of 8259, and address lines are connected to, among 8 address lines, A1 of microprocessor address line connected to A0, and remaining A2 to A7 address lines are given to the address decoder. The address decoder generate chip select signal and given to the CS bar of 8259, and other signals of 8086 M by O bar, RD bar and WR bar are given to the decoder. The decoder decode the 3 signals and generate 2 IO control signals, IOW bar and IOR bar. These 2 signals are given to the read operation and write signals of 8259. So this is about the interfacing of SC8259 with 8086 microprocessor. From the above interfacing diagram, the 8259 requires 2 addresses with A0 being 0 or 1. That is, the A1 of microprocessor is connected to A0 of IC8259. The higher address of 8086 is used to select the chip IC8259 by using address decoder. The read, write control signals of microprocessor are connected to corresponding signals of IC8259. The data lines of D7 to D0 of IC8259 are connected to data lines of microprocessor. And SP bar / EN bar is tied to logic high because only a single 8259 is used in the system. In case of cascade mode, that is, if 8259 is cascaded mode, this pin is connected to either plus 5 volts. The INT line of IC8259 is connected to INTR line of microprocessor. The INTA bar of 886 is connected to INTA bar of IC8259 when only a single 8259 is used in the system. And the cascade lines CAS 0, 1, 2, these are left open. The 8 interrupt request lines of IC8259 can be connected to 8 interrupt sources from different external sources such as ADC, keyboard, printer, devices. So these are the important questions belongs to IC8259. List the features of IC8259 programmable interrupt controller. Using two IC8259 interrupt controllers, what is the maximum number of peripherals connected can be provided with interrupt facility? So by using two 8259s, we can allow 16 interrupt controllers. 16 interrupt requests can be connected. That is 16 peripherals are connected by using two 8259s. List and define internal register in IC8259 and write the format of ICW1 in 8259. Now let us see the 10 marks questions. Explain how is IC8259 communicate with microprocessor, and explain different functions available in priority interrupt controller. Discuss about IC8259 programmable controller. Draw the block diagram of IC8259 and explain how it can be used for increasing interrupting capability of 8086. So these are the important questions of this topic. Now let us discuss another topic, IC8237 DMA controller. DMA stands for Direct Memory Access. Without DMA technique, the microprocessor can transfer the data from the memory to the peripheral by executing instructions. In this technique, the processor wait some time to transfer the data between devices, memory and peripheral. The processor enters into idle state in this mode of data transfer. But in this technique, only limited amount of data transferred between two devices, peripheral and memory. To avoid this problem, use a separate technique called Direct Memory Access technique. In this technique, a large amount of data is transferred takes place between memory and peripheral, vice versa, without using microprocessor involvement. That is, the DMA can request the processor for system bus, and DMA hand over the system bus and data transfer takes place between the two devices, memory and peripheral, by using DMA controller. Here the DMA stands for Direct Memory Access. It is one of the ways to accomplish high-speed data transfer directly between memory and peripheral devices. The DMA is a method of data transfer between memory and I/O devices without involvement of the microprocessor. This method is used when large amount of block of data is to be transferred. A separate device used to perform DMA data transfer is called DMA controller. The features of IC8237 are: it consists of 4 independent DMA channels. That is, 4 peripherals are connected to the DMA controller, and it can enable or disable control of individual request and possibility for memory to memory data transfer, and address increment or decrement, cascading and expandable to any number of DMA channels. This is the block diagram of IC8237 DMA controller. This block diagram consists of various blocks: channel 0, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, priority resolver, data bus buffer, read write logic, control logic and mode set register. Here each channel consists of two 16-bit registers, that is 16-bit address register and 16-bit count register. The 16-bit address register stores 16-bit address from which the data can be stored or retrieved, and the 16-bit count register counts number of bytes to be transferred in DMA technique, and each channel receives one request signal from the peripheral by using DRQ and send acknowledge signal to the peripheral. And the priority resolver resolves the priority among 4 channels, that is 4 peripherals can request the DMA service, but the DMA controller only respond for one peripheral according to the priority resolver. And data bus buffer carries data or control word or status to the DMA controller and carries data from the memory to the peripheral or peripheral to the memory. And read write control logic perform read and write operations depends upon the control signals received from the processor, and the 4 address lines A0, A1, A2, A3 or 4 bidirectional address lines or receive the 4-bit address or send 4-bit address. These 4-bit address represent selection of any one of the 16-bit registers among 16. So the 4-bit combination provides 16 combinations. Each combination belongs to selection of one 16-bit register inside IC8237. And upper 4 address lines A4 to A7 are connected to address bus of the microprocessor. And the control logic and mode set register, this block can receive the control word from the processor or receive the mode of operation from the processor by using selection lines. And hold request signal is given to the processor for requesting system bus and receive the acknowledge signal from the processor, and depends upon the data transfer between memory and peripheral. The DMA controller generate various control signals: memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write. So this is about the block diagram of IC8237 DMA controller. Now the pin diagram, it is a 40-pin IC. The 40 pins belongs to 40 signals. These 40 signals may be either 8 data lines, 4 DMA request signals, 4 acknowledge signals, and control signals like IO read, IO write, memory read, memory write, and hold request, hold acknowledge signals, power supply signals, like that. And the direction of signal represented in schematic diagram of IC8237. The 8 data lines DB0 to DB7 are connected to data bus of the microprocessor, and 8 address lines A0 to A7 are connected to address bus, and ADSDB address strobe signal used to enable the higher order address bus of the microprocessor, and a hold signal is connected to hold request of the microprocessor, and DSCK0 to DSCK1, DSCK2, DSCK3 are output signals which are connected to peripherals, and 4 control signals IO read, IO write, memory write are connected to memory and peripherals, 1 end of process signal, and 4 DMA request signals are input signals receive the request from peripherals, and hold acknowledge signal from the microprocessor, and a clock signal from the external clock generator, reset signal, ready, and chip select signals. These are the internal registers in IC8237. The base address register is a 16-bit register which can store the address of the memory location. Base word count register contains the count, total number of bytes to be stored in that register. the current address register pointing to the present address from this address the data can be transferred. The current word count register specifies the present count number of bytes to be transferred stored into the current word count register. And temporary address register, temporary word count register, all are 16-bit registers. And 8-bit registers are status register in case the status of the 8237, command register to programming the 8237 by using command register, temporary register, mode set register, mask register, request register. These are 8-bit and 4-bit, 6-bit registers. Now let us see the operation of DMA controller. The DMA controller operates in two measured cycles, active and idle cycle. In idle cycle, when no peripheral or no channel is requesting service, then the IC8237 enters into idle state. In this cycle, the IC8237 check the DMA request line and falling edge of the every clock cycle to determine if any device or any channel requesting the DMA service. In active cycle, when no device requesting the service of DMA, it enters into idle cycle. When any device can request the service by receiving DMA request signal, the 827 enters into active cycle. In active cycle, the DMA service takes place in any one of the following 4 modes of operations. That is single transfer mode, block transfer mode, demand transfer mode, cascade mode. In single transfer mode, the device, that is DMA controller, is programmed to make one of the transfer only. The word count is decremented and the address register is decremented or incremented following each other. When the word count rolls change from 0 to FFFFH, the terminal count bit in the status register is set and an end of process pulse is generated after completion of data transfer. The DMA request must be held active until DMA acknowledge signal becomes active. If the DMA request is held active throughout the single transfer, the hold request will go inactive and release the system bus. It becomes active again upon the receipt of a new HLDA signal. Another single transfer operation is performed. In block transfer mode, the device is activated by DMA request or software request continues making transfers until a terminal count bit 1 caused by a word count going to FFFFH or an external end of process pulse is generated. The DMA request need only be held active until DMA acknowledge becomes active. In data transfer mode, the device continues making transfers until terminal count or external pulse is generated or until DMA request goes inactive. The transfer continues until the IO device has exhausted its data capacity. Higher priority channels may interrupt the demand process. Once DMA request has gone inactive, the end of process is generated either by terminal count or by an end of process signal, that is external signal. The cascade mode. In this mode is used to cascade more than one IC8237 for system expansion. In single mode, only 4 peripherals can be connected. In cascade mode, more than 4 peripherals can connected to access the DMA transfer. The HRQ and HLDA signals from additional 8237, that is slave device, are connected to DRQ and DACK signals respectively of a channel of the initial 8237, that is master device. This allows the DMA request of the additional device to propagate through the priority network circuitry of the preceding device. The two additional devices cascaded with an initial device channels are shown in below figure. This forms a two-level DMA system. More ICs could be added at the second level by using remaining channels of the first level. Additional device can also be added by cascading into channels of the second level devices, forming third level cascaded connection. This is the cascade connection, that is two level connection. One DMA IC8237 is connected to microprocessor. Such device called as a master device. A device 8237 connected to another 8237 called as slave device. Here the master device, two peripherals are connected, that is two ICs are connected to two channels. Here the master device belongs to first level and two ICs in second level. You want to go to third level, the second level channels are connected with another 8237s, we get third level connection. So by using cascade connection, we get more peripherals are connected or used for data transfer. Now let us see the interfacing of IC8237 with microprocessor. This interfacing consists of microprocessor, peripheral, memory, DMA controller. Without DMA controller, the processor can transfer the data between peripheral and memory using its system bus. In this method, the processor executes programs to transfer the data between peripheral and memory. By using DMA controller, the DMA controller requests the service of system bus and data transfer takes place between peripheral and memory directly without microprocessor involvement. From this diagram, a peripheral requests the DMA service by sending DMA request to the DMA controller. The DMA controller send hold request signal to the processor. When processor receives the hold signal, the processor enters into hold state and releases the system bus and send acknowledge signal to the DMA controller. When the DMA controller receives acknowledge signal and send acknowledge signal to the peripheral by using DACK signal. When the processor releases system bus, the DMA controller hand over the system bus, that is the address, data and control bus of DMA controller is connected with address, data, control bus of the system. Based upon the type of operation is performed, that is processor, that is peripheral to memory or memory to peripheral data transfer, the DMA controller generate required control signals. That is, if peripheral can transfer the data to the memory, the DMA controller generate IO read signal and memory write signal to enable the operation. Or if data transfer from memory to peripheral, the DMA controller generate memory read signal and IO write signal. So depends upon the data transfer takes place between memory and peripheral, the DMA controller generate control signals. Once the control signals are generated, by using system bus, the data transfer takes place directly from the peripheral to memory using DMA controller without microprocessor involvement. So from the above block diagram shows that how a DMA data transfer takes place between memory and IO device with the help of DMA controller. Here the microprocessor and DMA controller time share the use of system bus. The IC8237 address, control outputs and data bus pins are connected to in parallel with system bus. An external latch is required for the upper address byte. While inactive, the DMA controller output enters into high impedance state. When activated by DMA, request and bus control is surrendered by the microprocessor. The IC8237 drives the buses and generate control signals to perform the data transfer between memory and peripheral. When system bus first turned on, the buses are connected to the microprocessor to system memory and peripherals. Then all the programmable devices in the system are initialized and normal routine program is executed until it is needed for data transfer. The operation is performed by activating one of the 4 DMA request inputs and has to be programmed into the DMA controller via command, mode, address and word count register. Now let us see the important questions of this topic IC8237. What is the DMA and its significance? Name the 2 modes used by the DMA process to transfer the data. And 10 marks questions. How to interface the DMA controller with microprocessor. Explain how DMA controller transfers large amount of data transfer from memory locations to another memory locations. Discuss the different modes of operations in the IC8237. Give examples of IO devices that can be interfaced with DMA controller and discuss about IC8237 DMA controller.